The game that we have all been waiting for is about to go down here at the 2018 NXL Chicago Open. I'm Matty Marshall alongside Nick Sloviak and Chris Lasoya. So 2 teams remain. It is the Los Angeles Ironmen and Moscow Red Legion, and what an amazing journey it was. We just got a little bit of a glimpse of it, a little road to finals highlight reel. But first off, let's talk about the Russian Legion. Russian Legion has been outstanding. But before we get to that, we got to talk about some historic Russian Legion magic. And it was Justin Rabakov playing for the Russians in 2011. I was there. I was watching this game, getting chills down my spine, thinking about Justin Rabakov making himself paintball famous, and this insane last-second run-through and a dive for the net back when we had flags and penalty boxes. And Justin Rabakov was able to take that victory. And then the very next year, in 2012, it was Brad McCurley. You know, Brad McCurley recently had said that he really felt that he's underrated, and you look at that awesome field layout that they had, but Brad McCurley helped Los Angeles Infamous get their first victory of that year. And Brad McCurley, I think since that moment in 2012, that anyone that knows anything about anything professional paintball, everyone's been respecting Brad McCurley as he stepped up and helped Los Angeles Infamous win that tournament. Unfortunately, Brad McCurley is not here, and his team AC Dallas is not in. They were in the finals at the last event, but this time it's going to be Ironmen and the Russians. So let's talk about the Los Angeles Ironmen. Man, the Ironmen are rebuilt. They put together the superstar squad this year to try to make a run and try to get a win for the first time in 9 years, and they have an opportunity to do it right now. And on that snake side, Kyle Spica and Trevor Reeser have been dominating. Kyle Spica did die a couple times in that last game, but Trevor Reeser was just absolutely almost flawless. So dominant in his run-throughs and his counter punches. I mean, just getting incredibly good reads and reacts. Also, man, the Russians really need to worry about Bobby Avilas as the 2 and the 3 over here, the support player on this snake side of the field, because Bobby Avilas has been doing an amazing job of protecting Trevor Reeser and protecting Kyle Spica. We're in the pits right now with the Russians. The Russians are pumped up. They have not had a victory since last year in Atlantic City. Nick, what are your thoughts on the Russians?
Well, they beat us. So they've gotten my vote. They're a solid team, man. They've got a great coaching staff. They have a tremendous well of youth. And we've seen Karslev, Samotrov, all those. We've been saying their name all year, and we've seen them from the first match they played on Friday. Especially Karslev play very aggressive on this field. They've got great veterans in Kirill Pridny and Golov and Alexander Britnikov backing them up. And I feel like they're due. They've been very close before. I mean, you go back to Texas, and they were beating Impact 6-1, 5-1, whatever the score was. And they let Impact come back. You know, they've been so close to making it all the way to the finals numerous times, all the way from last year, from when they won their last event to now. It's just been a matter of time. It's not a question of if, but when. And now they're here and they're in this spot. They've been playing very well. They dismantled Houston Heat. They mercy ruled them in their second match of today. And now they're going up against the Ironmen, who you see there on your screen, which, as you said in the intro, Chris, and you say you've played against the Ironmen in the days of old.
Yeah.
But some of these guys carry on that Ironman mentality.
Yeah, the shield.
Yeah, Chris, what are your thoughts on this matchup, man? This should be a good one.
Man, this is not going to be a blowout, I don't think. I expect the Russians to come out hard. I think they'll get a first 1 or 2 points. The Ironmen will regroup. They'll come back. I think it'll be a back-to-forth battle. I can't pick either team. If I had to give an advantage, I'd probably say I'd have to give it to the Ironmen because they have so much talent and I have friends in the team. But Russians are looking really tight right now.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you kind of said that, Chris. The interesting thing to me is the road to get here. Who did the Ironmen have to go through? That we call that the bracket of death to make it on. They had a lot of tough teams to play against. Look who they played this morning. They had Thunder and Revo, Red Legion, X Factor, and Houston Heat. So it's going to be, hey, you know, what did those teams learn from that? How are they going to adapt? And here we go, under 10 seconds before the start of our 2018 NXL Chicago Open Finals.
It's going to be up to execution here on this aggressive layout. Who's going to get up the field and stay alive and get those kills and make those good reads and those good moves? And it looks like the Russians are going to double up that back center again, and they lose Malloy this time. And that is the big killer for the Russians, the backup player for Smotrov. But do the Ironmen throw a body away? I saw you pointing over there, Nick, for a second.
I'm pretty sure it was Kyle Spica up in the center who got that kill, wrapping in the back center to take out Malloy.
Smotrov right now into Snake 1 for the Russians. Here comes Kyle Spica, and he launches into the wedge from the inside. That's the safest route. Kyle Spica has been, you know, other than a couple points in the last game, man, Kyle Spica has been on fire. over here, and I think he knows that. He's going to have to tighten things up if he wants the Ironmen to prevail here in the finals.
Yeah, Karslev now making his way into the Dorito 2 for Red Legion. Spreading the field. That's going to force Kyle Spica to turn his gun. You can see Karslev there, left-hand corner of your screen in that Dorito 2. You got Kirill Peridny. Golov over there as well, holding down from the back center. Red Legion did lose Alexander Brudnikov shortly after the break. Red Legion tried to double up the back center.
Well, here comes the move by Trevor Research. Trevor gets into Snake 1. Trevor looking down that sideline, mirroring up with Smotrov right now, but better field position and an extra body out there, and looking pretty good for the Ironmen. Kyle Spica backs up off to try to get a shot on the move into D1. Not able to make it. He's going to hit the deck and crawl into that 50.
Yeah, it's going to be tough over here. You can see as Kyle crawls in, and look at this, Trevor Reeser taking a shot in the head from across the field. So 4-on-4 right now, but Samotrov and the Red Legion looking into the sun. The sun is lowering in the sky. Kyle Spica crawls back out of the 50. I'm not sure if he bumped it.
I'm not sure why he would do that.
Yeah, interesting move. Maybe he knows that Trevor died, and with Bobby's position behind him, he can't be very well protected, but I haven't seen that move yet, that tactical retreat. I've seen it back to the wedge, but not to the Snake 3. Kyle does it nonetheless. Golov filters out over here to get behind Samotrov.
Kind of a rough death, unfortunately, for Trevor, and he played so perfect, but, you know, with that high body situation, those are the ones you want back, and throwing that body away, it's now 4-on-4.
Yeah, and it is. I'm thinking about this Kyle Spica move. If he stayed up at the 50, he's got a great crossfield shot on Karslev. He can control both the inside and the outside of him. Now that he's backed up, he puts the tower in front of him in the way. And look at this, Karslev makes his way into the 50 brick. Kyle calling him out that he killed him, or he's just yelling out his position. But Karslev, now he gets shot.
So he definitely gets
a gunfight.
Well, the one thing that is interesting here is that Greg Sewers has been doing a great job for the Ironman on that D side, but he's a little bit slower to attack than Karslev. Karslev's been cannonballing down that side of the field. This time, it does not work out for him as he makes it to that spot and then gets shot immediately. So now it is 3-on-4.
You know, it's Spica right now locking down that Dorito side of the field. But also Brudnikov, I believe. Is that Brudnikov in the snake?
No,
that's not
that's
him.
Samotrov. Brudnikov got
he
shot.
got shot in the break, right. But now they're in a position to get up in the middle. Both teams playing conservative, losing players in the break, not doing anything crazy, because this first point is crucial.
Yeah, it's crucial for momentum. Golev still alive, backing up Smotrov over here for the Russians on the Snake side of the field.
And this is probably the slowest we've seen Samotrov play. He gets in the Snake 1, but has not made any attempt to make a move past it. He's shot down the tape a few times. He's got Kyle Spica and Bobby Vilas in front of him.
Well, I think Kyle might think that there is a body in front of him at the 50 because he just leaned around and did the throw the pod trick. Trying to sucker somebody to make a move. Now, you would not do that knowing that there's just a body in Snake 1. So I think that might be why he did the tactical retreat to Snake 3.
Well, Kyle just head checked down the tape, saw Samotrov, called out the Snake 1. Now Samotrov tactically retreats into the Snake insert from the Snake 1. No one right now on the Snake side is looking tape. Look at this move by Samotrov. Now
and still
into the Snake. And Bobby Avila saw that move. Kyle makes his way over here to the 50 Snake. He's going to have to battle with Golov to get around this edge to try and take out Samotrov.
Well, no forward progression from the Ironman on the D side of the field. Damien is still in the back can, and looks like Greg is still in S1. I'm sorry, D1.
And that was a bad move, in my opinion, because he's the only thing stopping Kyle Spica from coming blowing this guy's back off.
Well, and Kyle can also stay low and block out Golev from the spot, especially as big as Kyle Spica is. Beautiful move by Kyle Spica. He comes up. He's got to stay low, though, and he's got to be careful from that crossfield shot from D2. Just Kyle Spica needs to just tuck in there and stay alive.
Yep.
He does. And I don't know if Kirill's in a retreat now. And
he did move back.
Stays alive in the Dorito 1.
I don't know about that because it's going to make Kyle Spica have a lot more breathing room in here. If he stayed in that D2, yes, Kyle does have a shot on him. And Greg did make the move out wide, so that's going to help things out a little bit here. But Kyle Spica now can kind of come up off that spot a little bit.
Yeah, it's a very interesting move by Kirill to do that because he could have just sat crossfield and shot a bunch of paint into Kyle and made it really, really hard for Kyle to live. Now he goes forward through the lane of Kyle, asks for a check and gets shot.
Nice shot.
So really, I don't know. I'm not sure about that move there.
Huge first point here for the Ironmen, and a long one at that, as almost 5 minutes ticked off in those back and forth tactical moves back and forth. But hats off to Kyle Spica as he really set the pace over here on the Snake side. Everyone was worried about him, and that is the reason why the Ironmen have their first point on the board. But great job by Greg Sewers to live over there. Same with Damian Ryan and Bobby Villas in this back corner bunker. Looking into the pits right now. Let's listen in with the Ironmen. Pretty calm, in the pits here for the Ironmen in the final match, up by 1. Trying to stay focused here. And there is Trevor Reeser with an early death here in the finals. So Trevor, as perfect as he has played here at this event, I think the best paintball I've ever seen him play. Really going to need to tighten it up as he did die early in this one. So here's the replay. Kyle Spica as he calls that crossfield kill. So I don't know if he actually got the shot.
No, he got shot down the wire by Greg in the goggles.
Yeah, so he got shot by Greg. So again, Greg playing stellar for the Ironman over here. But it is going to be interesting as this game progresses, guys, because Carslow's played much more aggressive on that D side. Greg's played more methodical. And I talked to Greg during the lunch break, and he said, man, it's crazy the changing of the gears over there. I mean, first gear, then kicking it to fifth, kick it back to first. So Greg has definitely made some big moves on that side, stayed alive more often than not. And now the Russian Legion down by 1 here in this final matchup. The Ironmen have opportunity to win their first tournament in almost 10 years.
You know, a great opportunity right here now for the Ironmen to go up 2 points to 0. They did grind a lot of time off the clock, like you talked about, Nick. But how do you come out? What do you think your game plan is in this point? Do you kind of take it more conservative, see what you do in the break since you're up 1 point, or do you kind of go aggressive and secure that?
No, you go, Chris. You go. What would you do?
I'd go hard.
Exactly. You go hard. You
Down
see
their
your bandwagon predictions. Red Legion, pretty big favorite here over the Ironmen, although they are down by 1, having lost the first point. Red Legion slow to get out to the box, just making it as the clock kicks down on the breakout. Let's see what happens here. The Ironmen, I think Kyle got shot. Someone got shot over here. Bobby's going to get checked out. I saw something spray off, and he does get shot. And that's going to be a minor penalty. Oh, that is not good for the Ironmen. They lose Trevor Reeser. They leave Kyle Spick in. I do see Samotrov walking out, though. So one body advantage right now for Red Legion. Samotrov, hand on his head, signaling where Kyle Spick is as Greg Sears gets shot out.
And they are coming from that glare side of the field as the sun is definitely getting low in the sky here.
Look at this. Todd Martinez freaking out on the sideline. Kyle Spica takes a bounce. Nope, he gets shot. So here you go. 4 on 1 right now. Just Damian Ryan left alive. And if I'm Todd Martinez, might as well just concede this point.
Well, he's over here yelling at the refs about Smotrov signaling.
Yeah, he's yelling. He's yelling at the Russians.
Yeah, Todd Martinez walked all the way onto the Russian side and is yelling into the pits to stop giving signals from your dead guys.
Yeah.
And it looks like this point is going to be pretty easy here for the Russians. Again, they are coming from the glare side. And so Todd's screaming, when is that going to be a penalty? So what he's complaining about is that when Smotrov walks past whoever, Kyle Spica, and he comes off dead, he either puts his gun up in the air or he puts his hand on his head, thus signaling exactly where that player is. And that's what Todd's flipping out about, which is understandable.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it's, if anything, it is definitely part of the game. Teams from all the way back to 7-man. The Ironmen got in trouble for it. Billy Wing bird dogging on the sidelines in 7-man. It's part of it. To think that whether it's people in the stands affiliated with the team or people on the sidelines don't try and give stuff away for their team, it happens. And whether or not it gets caught is on Jason and the refs to do. But Todd, and I know even we've called it out from up here, it's pretty blatantly obvious when it happens.
Yeah, it's definitely happening.
It's just whether or not the refs are going to do anything about it. How do you prove, you know? But the one thing that has to come back, that off the break shot cross field on Bobby drawing a minor penalty, pulling out Trevor Reeser. So right away off the break, it was a 4 on 3. The Ironmen did shoot Samotrov on the break, and that's why Todd Martinez is freaking out, because as Samotrov walked off, he did a little dance on the sidelines to try and indicate where Kyle Spica was.
I love what Spica just said in the pits. He said, if this wasn't a fight, it wouldn't be fun. And I think that's a great motivational little tidbit to give to his boys right now as they are locked in the middle of this fight. It's now tied up. They're going to be having to fight the glare of the sun. It's not horrible yet, but it's definitely not fun.
Dude, it gets nasty out here. It's just one of those things where I know Tom, Cole, and Camille had come over and had a conversation with Darren and Jason and had already said, yeah, we know. We'll make sure the fields go north and south at Cup. And I was like,
but we've been talking about that for years as well.
Yeah, you'd think. Look at that. GI Sports Stealth Marker, collaboration between GI, Planet Eclipse, and Exalt. Match sponsor right here for your finals. Combined performance from those 3 companies. Introducing the GI Sports Stealth High Performance Marker, powered by Eclipse's Gamma Core drivetrain, equipped with exclusive GI styling. That's the milling in the Driver X barrel system. Packaged in Exalt's all-weather protective carbon series marker case. Head on over to gisports.com to check those out. or your local dealer/store. Go online, got some places you can look it up. Or if you're just feeling like you want to get out of the VIP booth and not watch any more of this finals game, you can go to the GI Sports booth and grab one. But I don't recommend doing that just yet. So there, Greg Sears, Trevor Reeser, Kyle Spica, three amigos. Right there, you can see how spread out they are from that shot.
Split screen breakout here. Ironman on your left, Legion on your right here. 8 minutes and 34 seconds left to go after a couple quick points. And it looks like the first to drop a body is going to be the Russians, as Smotrov getting tore up here on the break again. So the Ironman doing a good job to try to focus on shooting out the emerging star for the Russians and not let him be an opportunity to run down this field. Now off of that, looks like Malloy is going to glide into Snake 1, but here comes Kyle Spica. I mean, this whole tournament, most of the time, might as well just let him start at this 50-yard line.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's interesting here to look at how this is Bobby Vilas gets shot out of the corner, so it's 4-on-4, but the only player for Red Legion and Ironman, this one-on-one battle right here in the Snake side, is Spica and Malloy. Now, the one advantage that Spica kind of has is that in the position he's in, if he can make a move into the Ironman Snake, or excuse me, into the Red Legion Snake, is he has some nasty cross shots. But it looks like Karslev is very well aware of the fact that Kyle Spica is over here and is shooting crossfield from that Dorito 2. That needs to open up things for Damian Ryan and Greg Sears. Greg Sears is going to tactically retreat to the Dorito can, and Golov retreats to the back center.
What a great job by the Russians, though, to get that shot on Bobby Avilas here from the sun side of the field, looking into that glare after losing Smotrov early, and the Ironmen squander a high body situation with that death of Avilas.
Yeah, it was a great shot by Malloy. Now Trevor Reeser repositions now to make his way out behind Kyle Spica in the Snake corner. He gave his body away by shooting down the wire at Malloy. Malloy knows that spot is there. And look at this, Damian Ryan getting shot in the face out of that Dorito tower, giving Red Legion the one-bite advantage. Now Greg Sears plays the aggressor, making his way back into the Dorito 1.
Look, if the Ironmen lose this point from the shade side, every point you lose from the shade side of the field is going to be frustrating because you are not looking into the sun. It makes it a lot easier.
And I thought it was interesting. I was listening to the commentary yesterday when we were playing, when I rewatched some games. Rich Telford had said something that I thought was really smart, is you really want to measure out how you want to play these points on when you're in the sun and in the shade. If you have the advantage and you're in the shade, you want a longer drawn out point where you get those kills. You want to force the other team to concede and draw the clock down.
Ideally, that would be great. I mean, that's a little hard to do.
But still,
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
But
it's just hard to execute.
One of those small things that in a situation like this, probably a good idea. Karslev makes his way into the 50 brick. Spica trying to figure out a shot on him, gets put in, and is now crawling back to the 50.
Spica's doing all he can in here. He just needs his guys to live behind him, and here comes, he's about to get executed. Actually, he runs past him. Vernikov runs past, it looks like he runs past Spica, but they trade out, and then Karslev runs to his death.
Did Greg Sears die?
I don't see Greg walking out yet.
It looks like it's a 2-on-2.
Greg's still alive, so Karslev and Malloy both run to their death. Spica coming off from that, but it is a it's a 2-on-2.
Yeah.
But
Karslev's move was unwarranted.
And that's still the rub with some of these young, aggressive rookies from the Russians. I think Smotrov is starting to fix that, but Karslev is...
What a shot by Kirill. Running and shooting. He takes out Greg Sears doing the bunny hop. Now he has the back of Trevor Reeser. Is he going to shoot him? He is going to shoot him in the... Oh, wow, Trevor launches. Doesn't have to worry about it, though. Nice job by Kirill. Is that Kirill? It is. Kirill Pridney. Man,
that was a shot.
That was huge. He runs and shoots he runs from the Dorito corner, runs and shoots Greg Sears out of the 50 brick as Greg comes over the top. Man, that's huge.
That was a great shot. He was full sprint, too, guys.
And obviously, we got some time left here, but Kirill Pridney, the veteran, really wants to get another win under this team's belt here. And when you make plays like that, again, into the glare, just a beautiful job by Kirill Pridney. But these early deaths from the Ironmen, if they want to win this game, they've got to keep Damian Ryan and Bobby Avilas alive in their bunkers. It's inexcusable. I know it's tough. Like, you're going to get shot out there, but it's difficult if you're going to lose two guys to expect to win on the shade side here against the Russians.
Yeah, you're right. And I will say this on Kirill's behalf. He's been doing a great job after every event, both here in the States and over in Europe, of writing up a really good piece. You can see the replay here. Here comes Malloy. Lucky that Kyle Spica's gun was down and he blasts past him. Look at Kyle Spica turn and Malloy turns, and then they shoot each other. If Kyle's gun had been up and shooting, this would have been a penalty on Malloy for sure. Both players miss each other there. Kyle puts his head down and kind of just gets lucky.
Yeah, he definitely got lucky.
Yeah,
he was able to
penalty.
put a ball on him right there. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. Malloy went over the top. If Kyle's gun was up, it would have been a different story. And here comes Trevor Reeser trying to pull something out. Now, Kirill Pridney is moving up down that D side of the field when this was happening and trades out with Golev. But Kirill Pridney was the man that won that point.
Yeah, and what I was saying about Kirill is he's done a really great job of going in and writing up a little blog, I would say, on each event. So if you guys aren't a fan of Kirill Pridny or have not really looked him up, head to his Facebook page and check those out, because he does a good job of expressing his feelings about the events and doing a write-up on behalf of the Red Legion. It's something that I enjoy reading, and I think he's done a good job of. Been a fan of his for a long time. Standout player. And one of the things that impresses me the most is he came off of an Achilles injury where he tore his Achilles tendon, was on crutches for over, a year at least. And came back and is now playing and just
some people never come back from that.
No, yeah, you're right. And he's pretty much the only true OG player on Red Legion. He's been part of this team for maybe 15 plus years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Getting back into this next point with just 5 minutes and 30 seconds left, and because so much time has ticked off the clock, the Ironmen are going to have to win this point and win it again to that glare. Here comes the move from Kyle Spica as he gets into the wedge. And nobody's a drop for either team, so real solid break here for the Russians, real solid break for the Ironmen, but more ground taken because Smotrov's in snake one.
Yeah, and that was a secondary fill. The Red Legion doubled up the back center, didn't get an elimination off of it. I like Kyle Spica's move up and in to the snake wedge. You can see Samotrov right there on your screen. Again, playing slow, nice now that he's got Alexander Brudnikov just off to his left. Karslev making a move into the Judo 2 from the corner, 5-on-5. 4:50 left to go in this game. Wow, it feels like, to me, it feels like no time has gone by at all.
Yeah, this is an intense matchup, man, as we're going to see a new winner here for the first time in 2018 in the NXL in the States. Russians doing a better job of spreading the field. The Ironmen are still stuck in the pocket here and trying to get out wide now. Move being made to the insert bunker here, snake side. He wants to get out to the snake. You can see there on your screen. He wants to get to snake one. Not able to do it yet as the Russians doing a good job of pumping paint through those lanes. There goes Reeser. Reeser's going to try to get across into snake one.
He makes it, and I like the setup that the Russians have. Malloy is sitting low. It looks like Alan Golding is going to get taken out over here. And Damian Ryan. And the ref is going to check out Greg Sewers, who is wiling out over there in the Judo 2. So 5-on-3. The question is right now is, will Todd Martinez let this play out for a little bit longer? No, he will not. He will concede the point.
That is very smart.
Yeah, good move there. And I did see a little something coming in over Facebook that I think with Alan Golding playing with the Ironmen over here, he might be the first true Dutch player. I think he's Dutch to play in the finals and the NXL maybe. I know we can't confirm that, but I'm just trying to go back, pick your brain.
I have had conversations over beers with Alan before about his life and his history. He's got a little bit of a complex family story, so he's not just from one place. I believe his father's British. That's why when you listen to his accent.
Yeah.
But he, did grow up, I believe, outside of Amsterdam, kind of out in the sticks a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, I do believe.
Well, getting that from a fan of his over in Europe.
Yeah,
shout out to all you guys in Europe watching right now. I know it's late.
I will definitely give him the respect as being the first Dutch player, but he just has a really fascinating family history. So.
Well, up next, Beers with Alan. Tune in about a couple.
Hey, Alan Golding's a good guy, man. He's a fun guy. He's been working really hard to try to earn playing time out here. And
number 29 right there in the pits. Off to Todd Martinez's right.
Todd scouted him from Breakout Spa, coaching him over there overseas, and convinced the management of the Ironmen to fly him over. And he got a couple reps in the prelims, but he was getting lots of kills while he was getting those limited spins. And then he stepped up here today on Sunday. And then also the Ironmen kind of struggling to get some survivability out of Bobby. So that's why Alan got the nod there. But then also the Ironmen just in general, this is the do or die time right now. They can't spot any more points to the Russians, Chris, in this particular moment with the time on the clock and down by 2.
Absolutely not. I'm looking for them to come out a little hard. I think we got to get a game out of Greg Sears right here, and also along with Kyle Spica.
I think Todd just was forced to call a timeout as he only had 2 guys out on the field, and Kyle Spica not even having his goggles on. So you can see our match stats thus far. Top 5 killers: Kyle Spica clocking in with 5, Kirill Pridny with 3, Brudnikov with 3, Sewers and Trevor Reeser with 2 apiece. So not too bad, there.
We got to get another picture, Kirill.
Well, or Malloy. Malloy's wearing an old jersey. Maybe he's wearing the new jersey, and Kirill's wearing the old one. Well, we got to get some color correct in there, or just get Malloy in the sun. But man, I tell you, he's one of the funnest players to watch. You can see Greg Sewers there on your screen. Stand out for the Ironmen.
Yeah, really.
This season.
I like what we've been seeing out of Trevor here at this event, but this is the time that it matters right now. I mean, it doesn't really, yes, it matters overall and far as overall rankings and this and that. It is so hard to get to the finals. And this is the time to perform. So these are the moments, these are the points that you think about when you go home. It's this right here.
Yeah, and you have to recognize the moment you're in right now, and you got to, this is your chance, man. Everyone dreams about being here, and this is it. Seize the moment.
This is the point that Ironmen need to get. If they don't get this point, Maddie, it's going to be pretty tough to come back.
Yeah, 4 minutes left and a 2-point spread. The Ironmen from the shade side absolutely need
this could be a
to
penalty
get this
over
one right here.
What a crazy breakout. Samotrop gets shot in the break. Ref streaks over to check out someone on the Dorito side for the Red Legion. Ironmen lose a body. It's 4-on-4. Alan Golding went around the corner, up and in to the Snake 2. Here comes a move on the Dorito side. He gets chopped up. Damian Ryan by, I believe, Burnikoff shooting cross. So at least two bodies down.
Opportunities are dwindling right now for
Kyle
the Ironmen.
Spica didn't play this point.
3 minutes and 25 seconds left to go.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, Alan Golding right now, and it looks like they are going to concede the point here to preserve the time. As with 4 players left alive against 2, the Ironmen just struggling to find lanes to get up the field. It doesn't matter what side, and also losing too many gunfights. A penalty's been assessed on them. It's been a little bit of a rough go for the Los Angeles Ironmen here in the finals.
Well,
yeah.
you've seen that player get pulled out in the Russians. Now, the Ironmen got a penalty for the same thing. So,
yeah, Todd, I already heard Todd, as soon as that happened, Chris, say that. You know, why is that not a penalty? I saw the ref streak in. They pulled out Samotrop.
We're up here. They're down there.
Hey, the Russians are looking very good. I mean, they have done everything that they needed to do in order to put up points here against a very hungry Ironman team. We saw, Nick, like you said, the fight that they had to go through in order to get here and having to defeat X Factor, who beat up on Impact, and then take on Houston Heat, who beat AC Dallas. They beat up on Houston Heat. So as far as the road is concerned, the Russians had a harder road. And we knew that coming out of that bracket.
Yeah. For sure. Shout out to my main man, AJ Trillett, hanging out in the VIP, giving props to Karsliv, saying that he is manhandling Damien and Greg over on that Dorito side. He's like, man, who is this dude? He is good, AJ Trillett, former pro player for infamous Aftershock, legend, getting his spins. Now an Illinois State patrolman. I don't know if I should have said that. I apologize, AJ, giving that away. Don't pull me over on my way home.
So as the Ironmen here, we're looking at Greg Sewers and Bobby Villas come out, and it was do or die time in this last point, even more so right now, and that's why Todd was so quick on the buzzer. But the Russians are so impressive. I mean, I've been picking the Russians all year. I picked the Ironmen as my dark horse. The Russians were definitely one of my favorites to win, but we know how good the Russians are. They've been here on Sunday. We know that team's been rebuilt. They won a tournament last year. I think that's why it's been frustrating for the Russians this season, is they know how good they were because they did win that event last season, and it's just taken them a while. They've blown some huge leads, and this is just the fulfillment right here of a lot of hard work and a lot of perseverance through some struggles on Sunday for the Russians.
No, you're absolutely right. And on this breakout for our 6th point, no one getting shot in the break. Greg Sewers taking the Dorito 2. Here comes Trevor Reeser up and underneath, and same thing with Kyle Spica, both of them flooding into the Snake side. Todd Martinez and the Ironmen very well aware of what they need to do to get this point on the board. They need to make something happen here, as we have now eclipsed the 3-minute mark in this game. Playing into the sun, going to be tough for the Ironmen.
Yeah, they are in good spots, and this is the first time so far in this game that they've had the duo of Reeser and Spica in this structure here on the Snake side, which is what we saw all tournament long. So able to finally get up the field. And here comes Bobby Avilas. Bobby Avilas knows they need a lot of points, and they need him quick. So he is going to start attacking in that center. There goes Karslev coming off, who's been playing well on that side. Other than that one early death that he had, Karslev's been tearing it up on that D side.
Yeah, Bobby Avilas makes his move onto the Snake wedge. Here comes Damian Ryan. 3 bodies across, 3 bodies across the 50 for the Ironmen. Trevor Reeser peeking over the top, 2:14 in this match. They got to go. Bobby knows it. He comes across. Is he going to trade? I think he does.
He gets one.
I think the back center shot Bobby, but what a good shot.
And there comes Smotrov. He gets into Snake 1. He's got his gun up now, trying to hold the Ironman
Golov
attack
gets shot. Samotrov gets shot. Just Alexander Brunikoff left alive on at least 3.
Past the 50-yard line, here comes the attack from the Los Angeles Ironmen from that D side, so it looks like they should be able to get this one. And here comes the hammer getting dropped on the last player, who was laying down doing the Army man there, and it was Malloy. So here come the Ironmen as they are going to put their 2nd point on the board now, down by 2.
That was a good point right there. It was nice and quick. I want to say about 2 minutes left in this game.
148, Chris.
Man.
148
for 2 points. I don't know, man. That was a quick point, though, Maddie.
Very quick point, and that is what we were
Convincing.
hoping to see to make this a game here, because it had just been all the Russians. The Russians winning the gunfights, not getting penalties, the Russians making moves quicker on the D side, and just, getting the better of the Los Angeles Ironmen. There's Trevor Reeser.
Looking gassed, man.
Yeah, looking gassed. I mean, he's played almost every single point for the Ironmen all event long and was there on the attack in that one. So with about 1 minute and 48 left and down by 2, there still is a possible way that the Ironmen could tie this up. I think Todd was just like, hey, can you go again? To Trevor?
He's going to say yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. But hey, good job right there with Bobby Aviles and Damian Ryan.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Bobby taking the lead right there, going through, getting that shot in Kirill. That opened it up, because if Kirill can stay alive, or that might have been, I think that was Kirill. You can see our event leaders right there on your screen. So Alexander Brudnikov, #1, 45 kills, 51 points. Look, man, these point numbers is crazy. 51 points, 45 kills. Stephen O'Mara played phenomenal for Revo, taking 37 kills out of 50 points. And you got Chad George, 36 of 39 points. Tim Brusselback, man, he had a great event.
They
really
didn't even
impressed
make
us.
Sunday.
Didn't even make Sunday. 34 kills out of 33 points. Look at that KP right there, baby. And Archie Montemayor, I missed the numbers, but I'll take, Kid Arch.
34
kills. Out of
37, I believe.
37 points played.
He went to work. Him and Cole Roberts played really well this weekend.
Well,
Yeah.
Archie started off bad, but then he picked it up after that. Archie did not have a first good game, but after that, he picked it up.
So the question is now, can the Ironmen pick it up, as they are down by 2 with 1 minute, 48 seconds on their clock. If you're an Ironman fan in the VIP, say something. I try every time. Maybe we can do the wave later. Ooh, Samotroff almost jumps a little bit early, has to tag up. On the breakout, Greg Sewers getting shot.
Yeah, Greg Sewers dying from that D side. That's not going to help the Ironmen in their comeback attempt here. Is the Russians doing such a good job, man, across the board, every level of the game right now, knowing that the Ironmen are going to have to push forward, rolling those guns. No one in the snake right now for the Russians as they're stuck in the pocket.
I think that's interesting. They choose not to send anyone out into the snake, the Red Legion. They're going to sit back and try and pull the time off. And it looks like they're baiting Spica.
Yeah, they're trying to bait Spica, and we haven't really seen a lot of success with teams trying to hold it down from those back bunkers. It's tough, but they don't have a lot of time to work with. You just saw those match stat leaders here. Only 1 minute, 12 seconds left to go here. Ironmen need 2.
You know who was good at doing the hold in the back is NYX.
Oh, Damian Ryan taking the walk also.
Yeah, and with no one being eliminated from the Red Legion, it's kind of scary to say this, but this game is essentially slipped away from the Ironmen. They got to go.
Yeah.
Now you got to start cannonballing down the field.
You absolutely do. Only 50 seconds left to go. You need to. You only have 3 bodies left alive. You're looking at 5 bodies. You might as well just start running down the field. Maybe you shoot someone, he plays on, he gets a major, because other than that, it's just going to be the same exact score, and we're going to be saying, oh, the Ironmen lose by 2.
Bobby Aviles gets shot. Look how tight Red Legion is playing. Hats off to them, as we're now eclipsing the minute mark. And Malloy knows that kill's there, goes through, takes out Bobby, or no, is it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, both those players coming off. Smotrop then gets into Snake 1, and that is going to do it. So that, and we'll see if the Ironmen even concede the point to play the next one. And I don't know. Todd's thinking about it, and I think he's just going to let it play out and keep the score as it is. And
call it a day.
Wow. So what an amazing job by the Russians here on Sunday. I mean, my God, the Russians get the bye into the quarterfinals. They take on X Factor. In case you guys didn't know what happened in those early matches.
And Kirill hits the buzzer for the last point.
Yeah,
that's a statement.
And I think that's great, because Kirill, if you go back to that big move he had and when the game was still at hand for the Ironmen, Kirill stole it from him. Kirill stole that point. He went in there and hit the buzzer, and I think it is fitting that Kirill Pridney is the player that hits the buzzer for the final point here.
And we got to give a Finals MVP out.
I think it's got to be Kirill.
I got it. Yeah. I mean, his leadership and his commitment to the team, and then that move on that side.
I know Karslev was doing really well in manhandling, apparently, getting that information from the D side. But if Kirill doesn't win that point, we have a completely different story here. What do you guys
100%.
think?
Yeah, sure, for sure. I mean, the only thing that I want to see again would be the match stats to see confirmed kills.
I would like to see the match stats, because we also have to give an actual MVP out.
Yeah, but congratulations to Red Legion, your 2018 NXL Chicago Open champions. Red Legion winning their second national event in 2 years. They won Atlantic City last year. Hats off, of course, to the Ironmen. This is their first finals appearance in at least 9 years. big shakeup here in this event is a lot of teams got upset at this event. So I'm really interested to see, too, how the rankings pan out for the season,
well,
for the series.
We are going to be doing the draw to find out who's going to be playing who. We're going to be doing the draw for the World Cup, the biggest event on planet Earth, here in just a little bit. But, yeah, a big congratulations to the Russian Legion, and hats off to our finals MVP, Kirill Peredny. If it wasn't for Kirill winning that point when the game was still close, we could be potentially singing a different song, as we well know how big those moments are.
Well, you talk about momentum all the time.
It's huge. That's a big thing out here.
There's no way around it.
And just the leadership with Kirill is cultivating those young guys, and this is a long time coming. Yes, they did win Atlantic City last year. However, in 2018, the Russians have thrown some big leads away. I mean, they should have beat Edmonton Impact in Texas. They went up 6-1, and they let Edmonton Impact have one of the craziest comebacks that we've ever seen, and they ruined their chances there. Then they go to Europe and Prague. They throw another big lead away there. So, and they just weren't getting the production that they needed out of their younger guys, and just getting gassed. Anyway, I can't say enough about the leadership of that squad.
Yeah.
How those rookies, they're not rookies anymore, but those younger players finally stepping up. Smotrov played a lot more consistent at this event.
Night and day difference. We just talked about him, Chris, on a little show we did. And the one thing that we noticed with Samotrov was just pushing it a little too much. He always had Malloy behind him. And you said you talked to Malloy. He was like, yeah, it's my job. He goes out there, he does his damage, I back him up.
Yeah.
But I was really impressed with the discipline that Samotrov had, the aggressiveness of Karsliv, and then just the overall backup with the rest of the guys in the squad.
And it wasn't just one guy on the Russians. Across the board, everyone was contributing between, Kozyrev coming in to get some spins for Golov. When he had some early deaths, Golov then came back out. He picked it back up. Karslev was just going and running down that D side of the field. And then Malloy over here. Malloy still, I think he might be the MVP overall just because of his constant presence over here, because Smotrov still had some early deaths as the weapon on the snake side of the field, but Malloy was always the consistent presence over here, always still picking up the slack. But
pumped me out.
Yeah, it's Alexander Brudnikov. He had one of the craziest moves we've seen out here. So anyway, congratulations to Moscow Red Legion as they just had an amazing game here and taking down the Los Angeles Ironmen in the final match. Stick around, though. We're going to have the draw for the World Cup. I'm Matty Marshall with Chris Lasoya and Nick Sloviak, and we'll be right back.